I was standing near the back of the crowded downtown art gallery, trying to support my older brother at his solo exhibition, when I sent a quick text to my long-distance boyfriend. "Hey Liam, I'm at a high-stakes gallery opening right now." A second later, his reply popped up, "No way, me too, beautiful." "Really? Then good luck tonight." I texted back, assuming he was at some corporate networking mixer. A few minutes later, the atmosphere in the room turned incredibly tense. A massive, wealthy art collector was standing in front of my brother's centerpiece sculpture, looking highly skeptical. The bidding war was stagnant, and my brother looked visibly stressed, sweating under the gallery lights. Wanting to boost his confidence, I stepped forward and called out across the quiet room, "Go babe, you're the absolute best." Clatter. The exact moment the words left my mouth, the lead sculptor from a rival art collective, a guy who had been smugly outbidding everyone all night, dropped his champagne glass right onto the polished concrete floor. It shattered into pieces. The sudden distraction broke the tension. Taking advantage of the sudden shift in the room's energy, my brother stepped up, delivered a brilliant, passionate explanation of his piece, and completely won over the collector. The sculpture sold for a record-breaking price, securing his residency at the prestigious institute. I practically vibrated with excitement, waving frantically at him. "Julian, you're incredible." "What are you doing here, Maya?" Julian asked, walking over and taking the bottle of sparkling water I held out to him. I told him I had just been at the nearby university printing some research papers, and on my way back, I heard the gallery buzz. He had texted me about the exhibition finals earlier, so I took a detour. His fellow resident artists started trickling over to congratulate him. When they saw me, their eyes went wide. "Julian, since when do you have a gorgeous girl hanging around?" "Back off." Julian shot his colleague a lethal warning glare. The guys just laughed it off, though their eyes kept drifting toward me with blatant curiosity. I was a brand new culinary arts student in the city, and this was the first time I was standing in front of his professional circle. "Hi everyone, I'm Maya." I offered a polite smile, about to explain I was his sister, but Julian cut me off. "All right, show's over. Head back to your apartment, Maya. Text me if you need anything." He snatched my coat and handed it to me, standing tall to block his colleague's line of sight like a protective shield. I blinked, totally lost, but nodded. "Julian, that pitch was insane." "I got it on video, I'll send it later," I bragged. He softened into an exasperated smile and waved me off. I turned on my heel to leave and immediately slammed face-first into a solid wall of a chest. Ow! My phone slipped from my grip and clattered onto the floor. I froze, dropping to my knees to grab it. Before I could look up, Julian took a sharp, aggressive step forward. "Vance, what is your problem?" She bumped into me, a voice replied cold, flat, and completely devoid of emotion. I looked up and recognized him instantly. It was Vance Sterling, the rival lead sculptor my brother had just gone head-to-head with. "Why were you standing right behind her, blocking the way?" "Apologize to her," Julian demanded, his voice dropping to a dangerous octave. He pulled me behind his back, glaring holes into Vance. But Vance wasn't backing down either. The air between them felt thick enough to spark a fire. "Julian, stop." "It was my fault, I wasn't looking," I whispered, tugging at his sleeve. I didn't want my brother getting into a fistfight on my account. Julian set his jaw. "Just go back to the apartment." "It's fine." I nervously peeked over Julian's shoulder. Vance was already looking at me. His gaze was dark, heavy, and razor-sharp. I mumbled a quick apology to the air and practically sprinted out of the gallery. I had to tell Liam about this nightmare guy immediately. The second I locked my apartment door, I pulled up my messages. "Babe, are you there?" I just got so scared. While I waited for Liam's reply, my two roommates filtered in from their afternoon pastry design classes. One of them asked if I had actually gone to watch the Grand Gallery exhibition. "Yeah, how was it?" Chloe asked, dropping her apron. "Which of the twin stars won the residency?" I blinked. "Twin stars." Chloe stared at me like I had just admitted I didn't know how to boil water. "Professor Sterling's golden boys, the architectural design prodigies." Professor Sterling is an absolute titan in the design world. His standards for taking on ments are brutally high. Because he's retiring soon, he stopped accepting new students entirely. But this year, he made an unprecedented exception for 2 final graduates. He publicly called them the brightest rising stars the department has ever seen. They even won gold at the International Architecture Biennale last month. The institute had their faces plastered on the homepage for weeks. Chloe pulled up the city's unofficial design community Instagram page, scrolling to the paparazzi-style photos of the 2 of them. I took one look. Wait, isn't that Julian? A wave of intense pride washed over me. My brother was that much of a big deal? Oh, my brother won, I said, pointing proudly. The apartment went dead silent for a solid 5 seconds. Then they burst into laughter. Maya, stop messing around. How could Julian Vance be your brother? You guys have totally different last names, and you don't even look alike. I sighed. I had heard this exact script hundreds of times since I was a kid. Luckily, I came prepared. Look, here's our official family registry, and here's a portrait from last Christmas. I pulled out my phone and swiped to my favorites album, holding it up with a smug grin. My roommate's jaws hit the floor. I kept going. I took my mom's maiden name, Sullivan. He took my dad's last name, Vance. As for not looking alike, that's just genetics. A moment later, a collective shriek echoed through the room. Oh my God, Julian is actually your brother? They practically begged me to introduce them next time. I agreed easily. Then Chloe asked another question, swiping to the next photo. What about the other one? Your brother works in the same studio lab as him. Do you know him too? I looked down. Wasn't this the terrifying guy I had literally just crashed into at the gallery? Judging by the photo, it was taken during the intermission. He was sitting on a drafting stool, a black jacket draped around his shoulders, dark hair pushed back. He was leaning forward, elbows resting on his knees, staring down at his phone with a faint, barely there smile. The photographer made this guy with a death glare look like a brooding male lead. What on earth was he smiling at? I had only ever seen him look like he wanted to commit a felony. I don't know him, I said, shaking my head. Right then, my phone buzzed on the desk. Liam had finally texted back. Beautiful, I just got out of the studio. What happened? I had originally wanted to vent about the terrifying guy at the gallery, but it didn't feel like a big deal anymore. Nothing, babe, just missed you. How did your exhibition presentation go? The typing bubble popped up. He went quiet for a full minute before sending a single word, lost. Oh no. He must be crushed. My heart squeezed. It's okay. We'll get them next time. It was just a bad matchup. In my heart, you're always the MVP anyway. I fired off 4 texts in a row. Sensing my panic, he sent back a cute cat sticker. It's probably because I didn't have you in the crowd cheering for me. The other guy had a lot of people screaming for him today. Oh, so that was it. I spammed him with heart-eyed stickers. He went quiet again, the typing indicator flashing on and off. He was hesitating. Babe, do you want to say something? I asked. Can you send me a picture of yourself? Huh? I just really want to know what you look like right now, he added. Liam and I had met online right before my grueling final exams. I had been so anxious that I posted a thread on a student forum asking for survival guides. He had left a massive, incredibly detailed comment breaking down everything I needed to know, ending with, "It's just one normal test. You'll face a million others. Take a deep breath." When my scores came out, I realized I had gotten into the Culinary Institute right next to Julian's Design Academy. We kept talking, and eventually, it turned into something real. We had planned to meet in person, but moving to a new city and freshman orientation had kept me too busy. Before we started dating, I had actually dared him to send a picture first. "Let me see those abs," I had joked. Surprisingly, he actually listened, sending a mirror selfie that completely rewired my brain chemistry. I had wanted to send one back then, but he never asked, and I didn't want to seem desperate. Luckily, I had a massive backlog of great photos. Without overthinking it, I scrolled through my camera roll and picked a candid I had taken right before heading to the gallery today. "Here's my outfit for today," I sent. My heart was hammering against my ribs. I stared at the screen, waiting in pure agony for his reply. But he didn't say anything. Was I ugly? No way, I used to do child catalog modeling. Why wasn't he saying anything? Am I ugly? I frowned at my phone. Then his text came through. No, you're beautiful. Really? Swear to God. I swear. I let out a massive sigh of relief. But the typing indicator popped up again, disappearing and reappearing. My stomach started doing something deeply athletic. Babe, another pause. Maya, were you at the gallery finals today? My soul left my body, attended a short memorial service, and came back holding a pamphlet. What? Were you standing near the Vance Team Center display? I sat up so fast my desk chair rolled backward and slammed into a laundry basket. There were many displays, very common furniture, I typed, praying it sounded normal. It did not. Liam went quiet for 2 seconds, then a photo came through. Not an abs photo, a mirror selfie. A studio locker room mirror. Damp hair, a black and white designer vest, broad shoulders, a towel around his neck, and across the badge printed in bold letters, Sterling. I stopped breathing. Then I screamed. A full horror movie scream. My roommates came flying across the room. What happened? I held up my phone with a shaking hand. My boyfriend is the nightmare guy. The room went dead silent. Then all three lunged for my phone. No way. Liam is Liam Sterling. The rival designer? The other twin star? The guy you slammed into? The guy Julian looked ready to murder. I grabbed the phone back and pressed it to my chest. My boyfriend was Liam Sterling. Liam was the rival designer who dropped his glass after I yelled, "Go, babe." Oh no. I had accidentally helped my brother win by emotionally assassinating my boyfriend from the crowd. My phone buzzed again. I suspected it when you said you were at the exhibition. Then I heard you yell. I closed my eyes. Babe, you heard that? The entire gallery heard it. His reply came fast. I didn't lose because of your brother. I lost because the girl I liked yelled, "Babe," and my brain left the building. I pressed my face into my pillow and made a sound only dogs and freshmen in crisis could understand. Chloe grabbed my shoulders and shook me. Reply. Reply before he thinks you died. I lifted my head and typed, "Your enemy is my brother." Technically, he is my studio rival, design rival, and academic headache. That is not better. A pause. Then, can I meet you properly? My heart went soft for half a second. Then my brain remembered Julian. We have to tell my brother first, before he finds out from community gossip and turns you into a physics experiment. Liam sent one word, fair. Then another, but Maya. Yeah, you really are beautiful. I threw my phone onto the bed and rolled off my chair dramatically. I planned to tell Julian carefully, calmly, with prepared evidence, possibly behind bulletproof glass. Unfortunately, community gossip had better timing than me. By breakfast, the unofficial Design Academy page had posted a blurry set of photos. Me cheering in the crowd. Liam dropping his glass. Me handing Julian water. Julian pulling me behind his back. Caption: Freshman girl distracts Liam Sterling, gets protected by Julian Vance. Studio drama? My fork froze halfway to my mouth. The comments were already exploding. Is she Julian's girlfriend? No, someone said she's his sister. Different last names, though. She distracted Sterling so Vance could win. That's low. I had barely processed the horror when my phone rang. Julian. I answered with the voice of a woman walking toward execution. Hi. Maya. Tell me the online boyfriend is not Sterling. I closed my eyes. Technically, his username was Liam. That is not a defense. That is a felony with Wi-Fi. Academy Cafe, 10 minutes. He hung up. Julian was already at the cafe when I arrived, looking exactly like our dad when someone tried to overcharge him for car insurance. Liam arrived at the exact wrong moment. Of course he did. Tall, dark jacket, cold face, eyes immediately finding me. Julian turned, and the temperature dropped. Absolutely not. I haven't said anything, Liam replied smoothly. Your existence is already too much. I stepped between them. Please don't fight inside the cafe. They have muffins here. Julian looked down at me. You knew. I found out last night. Emotionally, it was 7 years ago. Liam's mouth twitched. Julian saw it. Do not smile at my sister. I pinched the bridge of my nose. I am begging both design prodigies to act like people who understand basic conversation. Julian pointed at Liam. He is my rival. Liam nodded. Accurate. He is the reason Professor Sterling makes studio meetings unbearable. Also accurate. He almost beat me yesterday. You won. Liam looked at me, his expression softening so obviously that even the muffin display noticed. Because I malfunctioned. I had a reason. Julian made a choking noise. Sterling. I grabbed Julian's sleeve. Can I talk to him? Just for 5 minutes. No. Julian. No. You are 18. That was a recent administrative error. Liam lifted both hands slightly. I won't take her anywhere. Correct. I'll stand right here. Farther, Julian demanded. Liam took one step back. More. I smacked Julian's arm. Finally, he retreated behind a vending machine 3 feet away, pretending not to listen. I could see his designer sneakers. Liam looked at me, the cold rival completely gone. In his place was the boy who had talked me through exam panic. I liked you before I knew your face. His voice was low, careful. Before the gallery, before the photo. You were the girl who talked to me when I was just Liam. My fingers tightened around my coffee cup. I thought you would be different. Worse. Scarier. You have murder eyes. His gaze dropped. I'm sorry. Oh, that was unfair. The nightmare guy was apologizing like a golden retriever who had accidentally stepped on my foot. Julian coughed loudly from behind the vending machine. I turned. Julian, I can see your shoes. I'm checking the snack options. There are no snacks behind the machine. Then this cafe is poorly designed. Liam's lips pressed together. I whispered, do not laugh. He'll take it as aggression. Too late. Liam laughed once. Julian emerged like a betrayed security guard. Meeting over. It was not over. Unfortunately, a senior named Vanessa had decided to make sure everyone in the academy got a front row seat to the drama. Vanessa controlled half the campus gossip page, photographed events from the VIP media seats, and had liked Liam for a very long time. Because Liam had never noticed her existence, I had suddenly become her biggest problem. By that afternoon, new posts flooded the feed. Freshman Maya Sullivan claims Julian Vance is her brother. Convenient? Did Maya distract Liam Sterling on purpose? Different last names, no resemblance, and suddenly both twin stars are protecting her. Anonymous accounts swarmed the comments. Gold digger, attention seeker, fake sister, studio saboteur. At first, I laughed because fake sister sounded like a bad soap opera title. But then I overheard 2 girls near the campus library. Different last names? So convenient. She probably made up the brother thing just to get close to the design studio. I froze behind the bookshelf. The heavy textbook in my hand suddenly felt like lead. I had been in the city for less than a week. I still got lost between the culinary kitchens and the lecture halls. And somehow, half the student body was looking at me like I was a calculated homewrecker. I went back to my dorm and shut the door. My roommates tried to cheer me up with pastries, but it only worked for a few minutes. Then a new post dropped, a cropped photo of me beside Julian, completely removing the original caption where I joked about him complaining while moving my heavy boxes. The cropped version just showed our faces with comments calling me a fraud. My phone buzzed. It was Liam. Where are you? My apartment. Can I come over? Julian will turn the building into a crime scene. He is with me. That did not comfort me. 5 minutes later, my brother and my boyfriend stood in my living room looking like 2 world leaders signing a highly hostile peace treaty. Julian saw my stressed face and immediately stopped glaring at Liam. Who made you cry? I'm not crying. You have the same lying face you had when you broke Mom's favorite ceramic vase. That vase jumped. Liam's jaw tightened as he scrolled through the cruel comments on his phone. Julian's voice went completely flat. Vanessa. She runs the page. Good. We have a target. I looked between them, bewildered. Wait, are you 2 teaming up? Julian looked like he had swallowed a lemon. I still hate him. Liam did not blink. Good. Keep the energy focused. The target is not my sister's boyfriend. Julian shot him a look. Yet? I sat down slowly. Is this what dating design prodigies is like? Romantic cyber forensics? Liam looked at me, his gaze softening. I can do flowers too. Julian snapped. Don't. The alliance formed right there in my living room, with my roommates acting as chaos assistants and stale coffee as emotional fuel. Liam mapped posting times and metadata from the gossip account. Julian pulled up our official family registries, childhood vacation photos, and old videos of us arguing over the last dumpling at Christmas. Professor Sterling even got involved when Julian forwarded a post implying I had manipulated restricted studio access. The legendary professor's email reply came 3 minutes later. Who is using petty romance gossip to damage my studio's reputation? Bring me their names. No greeting, no punctuation beyond pure academic rage. Terrifying. Vanessa escalated the situation right before the charity design rematch scheduled for the following evening. A video dropped showing a heavily edited sequence of me yelling, "Babe," Liam dropping his glass, and the subsequent fallout, making it look entirely calculated. By evening, the Academy's grand exhibition hall was packed. It was supposed to be a fun fundraiser, but instead, it felt like a public trial. I wanted to disappear into the floorboards. The grand exhibition hall was buzzing with whispers, all eyes darting toward me. Liam found me near the entrance. "You okay?" he asked softly. "No," I admitted. His hand hovered near mine, asking for silent permission. "Can I?" I nodded. He took my hand, warm, firm, and entirely public. A massive wave of gasps and whispers rippled through the gallery. Julian, who was reviewing blueprints near the stage, choked on his water so hard a colleague had to slap his back. "Sterling," Julian growled, marching over. "Remove your hand before I remove your future." "Julian, we are in public," I hissed. "So is the crime." Before the argument could escalate, Vanessa appeared out of the crowd, flanked by her entourage. Her smile was sweet enough to cause cavities. "Maya, since everyone is so confused, maybe you can clarify a few things for the Academy. If Julian is really your brother, why does no one know? Why the different names? Why hide it until you got caught manipulating the exhibition?" Students pressed closer, phones raised to record the drama. Julian stepped right beside me, looking deadly calm. "My sister's full name is Maya Sullivan. Sullivan is our mother's maiden name. I am Julian Vance. Vance is our father's surname. If anyone here passed basic biology, you'd know it's called genetics." Suddenly, the massive digital display above the stage flickered. Professor Sterling had granted us access. The screen lit up with our official family registry, embarrassing childhood photos, and a Christmas portrait of Julian carrying me on his back while I held a giant stuffed rabbit. Next came unedited screenshots of our move-in texts. "Dropped your boxes in the lobby because Sterling is threatening studio homicide. Bring bubble tea later." A wave of laughter rippled through the crowd. Vanessa's face flushed, but she tried to pivot. "Fine. Maybe your siblings. That doesn't explain why you maliciously distracted Liam during the final showcase." Liam took the microphone from the stage podium. He looked across the crowded hall, cold and steady. "Maya didn't even know I was the Sterling rival. She knew me online as Liam. She didn't distract me on purpose. I lost my focus because I heard the girl I liked cheer for me, and my brain completely left the building." The crowd went absolutely wild. My roommates were practically jumping on chairs. I covered my burning face. Vanessa's composure cracked entirely. "You're saying you ruined a major presentation over her?" "I made a human mistake," Liam countered, his gaze cutting through her. "But you turned that mistake into a targeted harassment campaign because you were jealous. You tried to turn the girl I love into a campus scandal because you couldn't accept that I was never interested in you." The room went dead silent. The words "the girl I love" echoed in my head, making my heart race. I took the microphone from Liam before Julian could say something illegal. "No, Vanessa. You didn't post what everyone was thinking. You posted what you wanted everyone to think. He isn't a studio printer. I didn't take a number and wait for my turn." The crowd burst into roars of laughter. Vanessa stood frozen, tears welling in her eyes. I only reposted what was sent to me. But the screen behind us shifted again. Liam's digital forensics code laid everything bare: posting logs, IP addresses linked directly to Vanessa's device, hidden draft folders, and the original uncropped photos she had stolen. It proved she had systematically manufactured the entire smear campaign. Her friends slowly backed away from her. The Academy's media director walked up and silently unclipped the VIP press badge from Vanessa's lanyard. In real time, her phone began buzzing continuously as the gossip page was officially suspended and disciplinary notifications from student conduct flooded her screen. Professor Sterling walked onto the stage, adjusting his glasses. "Miss Cole, if a single sentence from a culinary freshman can completely derail my top architecture student, the weakness lies in the student, not the freshman." The experiment failed. Vanessa fled the hall in tears, completely isolated. Nobody followed her. The charity design showcase turned into a massive success. The crowd demanded Julian and Liam collaborate on a live design build, doubling the donations within minutes. Julian looked like he wanted to swallow a drafting compass, while Liam looked thoroughly amused. From the front row, I cupped my hands around my mouth and shouted, "Go brother! Go boyfriend! Please don't make me pick a side again." The hall erupted. Julian groaned dramatically, while Liam threw a brilliant, open smile right at me. After the event, Liam walked up and took my hand. Julian stepped between us for exactly 2 seconds out of pure principle before sighing, "Home by 10. And if she yells babe during my presentations again, you wear earplugs." "I can't promise that," Liam smiled, looking down at me. "Her voice is my absolute weakness." That night, Liam took me on our first real date, not a loud party or a fancy restaurant, but the quiet, empty gallery space after hours, sharing takeout on the floor. It was peaceful, perfect, and completely ours. College was turning out to be absolutely ridiculous. I had arrived in the city just needing to print a few syllabus papers. Instead, I ended up with a massive design scandal, an overprotective brother, a campus war, and an incredible boyfriend with killer abs, a death glare, and a serious brother-in-law problem. But as Liam leaned in to kiss me, making my academic focus vanish entirely, I realized I wouldn't change a single thing.